to the Magic of Joy channel. Today I want to discuss something that has been bothering me a lot, something that makes it harder and harder for us to solve our problems together, and it's rejection. Not just as an experience, but as the focal point of the way we connect socially and the way we talk about life. So let's look at this today. So what is with all this rejection? I've noticed more and more how much of our social conversation and our social focal point is about rejection. I see it all over the media, in all sorts of topic areas, in politics. It seems to be a never-ending discussion about polls and who's up and who's down, who's winning, and who is being rejected. We also hear that people vote based on their feelings of rejection. Is rejection all that matters? So many products are sold based on the idea that owning them means you're included, and not owning them means you're an outsider. How many things do we have to buy in order not to appear like we are losers, the ones to be rejected? How often do we alter our appearance, our attitudes, our interests, our needs, wishes, and desires in order not to be rejected? Have you ever felt resentful about what is demanded so that you will not be rejected? Perhaps that resentment is well placed. It needs to be given some consideration. Rejection and rejection fears are not accidental. They come from our early experiences and our obvious vulnerability when we're young. We learn that we're not as welcome if we act a certain way, if we're excited or exuberant. That's a common one. But there's more to this than our own interpretation of our experience when we're young. Rejection is a primary tool used to get us to conform and to get us to behave in ways that make others comfortable. It's how we're trained to support our cultural system. And we can be rejected and chastised sometimes in very harsh ways for rejecting the demands of our cultural system. Many will guilt trip those who question or live by different values than those espoused by their cultural system. Changing dress tolerated by conservative societies is an example. Embracing a line of work that is different or considered non-professional when professionalism is the ticket to success. Stepping outside of social narratives about what's okay or not and what is the defined truth or not can invite rejection and even condemnation. The rejection we're talking about here becomes self-rejection and keeps us stuck in many ways, living in a way that may not be what we need, especially as circumstances change. And as a result, we lose our flexibility, our adaptability, and resilience, which is a heavy price to pay to get along with others. Rejection protects what is. Therefore, it does not help us be present and work on what we need to be attending to in the present. Rejection is inevitably backward-looking. Rejection protects old truths or dogma when the dogma is wrong. In fact, you can often feel the dogmatism in rejection. It's in the energy, which can be closed and defensive. When our energy is in rejection of ourselves and others, we're not connecting and working together. We focus on threats of one kind or another. So rejection is definitely fear-based. And when we get a lot of rejection growing up, we may become afraid of ourselves as being a bad person. This is one of the cruelest messages we can pick up because it's untrue. Seeing alternatives to the status quo is creativity. It's not a fault in us. Since the world is always changing and we need to change with it, when rejection is a central focus of human culture, by its very nature, it makes change difficult. When we cannot adapt, we're not supporting our thriving and not even our survival a lot of the time. So what can we do about this? It's important to give some thought to how rejection, because it is threat and fear-based, can be very short-sighted. I'm not talking here about setting boundaries. I'm talking about the kind of rejection that does not allow change. Rejection and thriving don't mix very well. When we're protecting the status quo, anything that interferes with that status quo will be treated as a danger, a threat, including important information that we need in order to take care of ourselves in a changing world. How we're handling climate and environmental emergencies is a perfect example of how protecting the status quo means that some reject the important information needed to address them effectively. It becomes a way of shooting ourselves in the foot and also does harm to others. Making the survival of the culture more important than the thriving of a culture invites this kind of self-defeating behavior. Thriving as an intention is totally different in its focus and interests. When you want to create thriving, You want to take care of everything that supports thriving in the present and into the future more than anything else. Thriving as a purpose becomes a shared purpose and a way for people to work together for their mutual benefit. Thriving is long-sighted, it's not short-sighted, which is one of the big flaws of survival thinking. Thriving requires a long-term investment in creating the supports necessary to support thriving and then maintaining those supports so we can adapt as we need to, knowing that we have the supports in place to do so. An agenda of thriving requires letting go of conflicts that get in the way. Conflicts and the resources they consume get in the way of our thriving. Rejection also gets in the way of our taking care of ourselves, discovering and being ourselves and living our truth. It can prevent us from learning new things so that we can take our place in an ever-changing world and participate in shaping that world. How many things do you do or not do because rejection is of one kind or another blocks you from pursuing something? How many parts of yourself do you reject because you've been taught to do so, rather than ask what benefit that quality brings to you and perhaps to others? What have you abandoned in yourself because it was disapproved of? If you made a list, it might include creativity, wonder, curiosity, seeing the good in yourself and others because you've been taught people in life are bad. It will likely include your sensuality. Sensuality is an important source of information about your lived experience, and when abandoned, will keep you living in your head. Sexuality is also another common rejection. Everything you reject takes you out of life and makes you more vulnerable because you cannot draw on your own inner resources to make your life work. So you need a way to change that. A joy practice helps with that. It's not about rejection. It's about embracing the good in ourselves, each other, life, past, present, and future. It's constructive in its intention, and it serves the common good, which means it does not waste energy on false conflicts and unnecessary rejections. It has no need for the drama and unhappiness that comes from the rejection game, and it is often a game. Because it serves the common good, it seeks to create thriving for all of us. It has no need to beat anyone, impress, or exclude. Social competition is not interesting when you're anchored in a joy practice. Quality of life is. A joy practice is naturally healing because it takes us out of the rejection dynamics, so we're free to be ourselves and contribute what we have to give. Doesn't that sound a lot easier? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about how joy can transform your life. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and loved ones. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on the transformative power of joy. I'll be back soon to give you more information about how joy as a practice and compass can transform your life. Stay well and joyful until then, and thank you for watching.